Hello everyone, I am Amrita Bhattacharya and you are watching my channel Best of Biology. Welcome back again to my channel after a long time. Yes, I have taken a long break due to some personal reason and that is why I couldn't upload my videos. But from now again I will be a regular and definitely you will get the new videos from my channel. Today my topic is the plant sexual reproduction in angiosperm, that is the flowering plants. Two more videos will be uploaded on this topic and I have mentioned it as a part 1. So without wasting our time, let's just start. Question number 1. Identify A to D in the following figure and answer accordingly. This is a very basic level of question. Option A ovary, B filament, C petal and the D sepal. Option B, A ovary, B petal, C filament and the D sepal. Option C, A ovary, B sepal, C style and D petal. And the option D, A filament, B sepal, C style and the D petal. So we have to find out the correct answer from that figure. From that figure we can clearly understand that A is the ovary. So it is given in that following three options A, B and C. A is the ovary. B is the cross section of that sepal. So sepal is present we can find out in that option number C. B is the sepal and C number that is showing in that figure, it is the style. It is showing the style. It is also correct in that option number C, and D of course it is the petal. So from that figure we can understand that option C is the correct. Question number 2. The two parts of a typical stamen are option A, style and pistil, option B, filament and style, option C, anther and style, and the option D, anther and filament. Now from that figure also we can understand that this is the figure of a typical stamen that having a long and slender stalk called the filament and the terminal generally bilobe structure known as the anther. So from that the figure it clearly shows that the correct answer is the option D, anther and the filament. And one more thing is that the androecium is the male reproductive organ which is made up of by one stamen or by more than one stamen. So stamen is the unit of that male reproductive organ called the androecium. Question number 3. Identify A to D in the following diagram of anther. Option A filament, B pollen sac, C pollen grains and D line of dehiscence. Option B, A filament, B line of dehiscence, C pollen sac and D pollen grains. Option C, A filament, B pollen sac, C line of dehiscence and D pollen grains. And the option D, A line of dehiscence, B filament, C pollen sac and D pollen grains. Clearly we have to find out the answer from the diagram. From here we can understand first that the A is the filament on which the anther is situated, and it is given in above three options, that means A, B, C. A is the filament. Now the option B is the line of dehiscence through which the pollen grains are liberated after the maturity of anther, and this is given in that option B. C is the pollen sac or the microsporangium on which the pollen grains are present, and D is clearly the pollen grains. So from that figure we can clearly understand that the correct answer is the option B. Question number 4. Identify A to D in the following diagram. This diagram is actually the cross-section view of the anther. In previous question, the question number 3, it was given the longitudinal view of that anther, and now it is the cross-section or the transverse section view of the anther. Here's the options are coming. Option A epidermis, B endodermis, C middle layer and the D sporogenous tissue. Option B, A endodermis, B sporogenous tissue, C epidermis and the D tapetum. Option C, A tapetum, B endodermis, C epidermis and the D middle layer. And the option D, A. Tapetum, B. Epidermis, C. Middle layer, and the D. Sporogenous tissue. So we have to find out from that figure. The D is the extreme inner side. The D is the sporogenous tissue. That means the spore containing tissue. This sporogenous tissue is D, only present in that option A and then option D. Okay, the next of it is in figure, it is showing marking as a. So A is the actually tapetum, and tapetum is present in that option C and option D. But in option C, that is the D is not the sporogenous tissue. D is written as middle layer. Clearly it is wrong. So from that A and D we can find out that the correct answer is that option D. So here the correct order is that A is the tapetum, B is the epidermis, which is the extreme outer layer of the anther, C is the middle layer just next to the tapetum, and D is the sporogenous tissue. Question number 5. The innermost layer of microsporangium is option A tapetum, option B middle layer, option C endothecium, and the option D epidermis. These four options are the four name of four layers of microsporangium, that is the pollen sac. Among the four options, the innermost layer is the option A, that is the tapetum. So the tapetum is the correct answer. Question number 6. Which of the following statement is correct? Option A hard outer layer of pollen is called intine. Option B, sporogenous tissue is haploid. Option C, endothecium produces the microspores. And the option D, tapetum nourishes the developing pollen. Now among the four options, the option A is the incorrect, because the inner wall of the pollen grain is called the intine, not the hard outer layer. Next, the sporogenous tissue is not haploid, rather it is the diploid. So option B is also again wrong. Now the option C, endothecium produces the microspores, that is completely wrong, because endothecium is the wall around the microsporangium, which provide protection and help in dehiscence of anther to release the pollen. Only the correct answer is the option D, that is the tapetum is the innermost layer of the microsporangium as well as the nourishes the developing pollen. Now the question number 7. Which of the following perform microsporogenesis? Option A, microspore mother cell. Option B, pollen mother cell. Option C, both A and B. And the option D, none of the above. Here the answer will be the option C, both A and B, because the microspore mother cell and the pollen mother cell are the same term and form male gametes, that is pollens, by the process called the microsporogenesis. Question number 8. Microspore tetrad, that is pollen grains, is a result of option A, mitotic cell division, option B, meiotic cell division, option C, both A and B, and the option D, none of these. Here the answer will be the option B, because the pollen mother cell divides mitotically to form the haploid tetrad of cells called the microspore tetrads or the pollen tetrads. We can see in this figure also. This name is because after the meiosis, the haploid pollen grains remain in a cluster of 4 cells, which is known as the tetrad, a pollen grain tetrad. Question number 9. Microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis means option A, the process of formation of megaspores and microspores by mitosis respectively. Option B, the process of formation of microspores and megaspores by mitosis respectively. Option C, the process of formation of megaspores and microspores by meiosis respectively. and the option D, the process of formation of microspores and megaspores by meiosis respectively. Now, among the four options, the one thing we can understand that formation of microspore is the microsporogenesis and formation of megaspores is the megasporogenesis. Now, this microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis, this process aim to do the production of microspores and megaspores by the process of meiosis, not the mitosis. So, the answer will be the option D. The microspore mother cells that is present in the diploid sporogenous tissue that undergoes the meiotic divisions to form the microspore tetrads, as well as the single megaspore mother cell that undergoes that megasporogenesis to produce the single megaspores, single functional megaspores, that is called as the megasporogenesis. Question number 10. Exine of pollen grain is made up of A. Sporogenous tissue, option B. A spongiform tissue, option C. Sporopollenin, and the option D. Inorganic material. Now, the exine and intine are the two layers of that pollen grain. Exine is the outer layer and intine is the inner layer. So, the exine is made up of the option C, the sporopollenin, and because of sporopollenin, it's the exine is the very hard layer. Question number 11. The sporopollenin is non-degradable and it is featured by option A. It can withstand strong acids. Option B. It is resistant at very high temperature. Option C. No enzyme degrade it. And the option D. All of the above. Now, the option A, B, C, three are the features of the sporopollenin. So, here the answer will be the option D, all of the above, because all of these three are the correct features of that sporopollenin. The sporopollenin that is present in that exine region is the most resistant biological material known so far. It is only absent in the germ pore region of the exine, through which the pollen tube will come out. Question number 12. Intine is made up of option A cellulose, option B pectin, option C both A and B, and the option D protein. Here the answer will be the option C, both A and B, that is cellulose and the pectin. It is very thin layer as compared to the outer layer, that is exine. Question number 13. Which cell is bigger and have abundant food reserve material during the microsporogenesis? Option A generative cell, option B vegetative cell, option C vacuole, and the option D spore mother cell. Here the answer will be the option B vegetative cell, because the vegetative cell is the bigger and has the abundant food reserve and a large irregular shaped nucleus. From the figure also we can find out the vegetative cell. This is the figure of a two cell stage pollen grain. And the generative cell, this is the small and floats in the cytoplasm of vegetative cell. It's a spindle shaped with dense cytoplasm and a nucleus. Later it will further divide and produces the two sperms. But the maximum of that, about almost 60% of the angiosperms shed at their pollens at this two cell state. That means one is a generative cell and another is the vegetative cell. Question number 14. Male gametophyte in angiosperms produces option A, two sperms and a vegetative cell, option B, single sperm and a vegetative cell, option C, single sperm and the two vegetative cells, and the option D, three sperms. The male gametophyte is another name of the pollen grain. The pollen grain finally at the angiosperm produces the two sperms and the vegetative cell. So the answer will be the option A, because the generative cell after the further division produces the two sperms, and vegetative cells, that is the nourishment cells, remains as it is in the pollen grains. Question number 15. Pollen tablets are available in the market for option A, in vitro fertilization, option B, breeding programs, option C, supplementing food, and the option D, ex situ conservation. Here the answer will be option C, the supplementing food, because the pollen grains are rich in nutrients. They are taken as a tablets and syrups to improve the health. Pollen consumption has been claimed to enhance the performance of athletes and the race horses. In Western countries, the pollen tablet consumptions are very famous as a food supplement. Last question, question number 16. A large number of pollen grains are stored in option A, alcohol, option B, liquid nitrogen, option C, water, and the option D, benzene. Here the answer will be the option B, the liquid nitrogen. In minus 190 degrees centigrade, the pollen grains are stored in a large scale. Such stored pollen can be used as a pollen banks, just like similar to the seed banks. It is enormously used in the crop breeding programs. Okay, that's all in this video. Here I have discussed about the male reproductive parts of angiosperm mainly. In my next video, I will discuss about the female reproductive parts and the pre and post fertilization stages. I hope you have learned something from this video. Keep watching. My next video will be on the plant reproduction, will be uploaded very soon. Thank you for supporting me. Do like, comment, share, and of course subscribe my channel. See you in the next video. Bye.